So I'm here at the Milton Velodrome with Tegan Cochrane, who is part of the women's track cycling team. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am from Kelowna, BC, which is really far away from here. I moved out here in January of this past year, and I was a hockey player before coming to track cycling, so I played for 16 years as a right winger, and it was a nice transfer over to track cycling because I came from a power sport, so the transition to sprinting was sort of a natural fit for me, and I've been doing it for a few years now. I'm still quite new to the sport, but it's my favorite thing I've ever done, and yeah, it's amazing being at the facility here in Milton. It's a world-class facility, and I feel really lucky to be able to train here every day.
And you had a pretty serious injury that took you out of the competition in hockey.
I did.
That was probably a painful transition emotionally?
Yeah, definitely. I had 2 back-to-back ACL reconstructions, which took me out of hockey and sport altogether for a few years. So cycling was my rehab, and I fell in love with it while I was rehabbing my knee, and I went traveling, and I was in Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia, and every city I went to I would find a bike and I would ride, and I just fell in love with it. And the first velodrome I actually rode was in New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did that in 2014, and I immediately came back to Canada, and I went and found my velodrome, my home velodrome in Burnaby, British Columbia, and I started riding there and driving back and forth between Kelowna and Burnaby, and that's how I got into track cycling.
And you've had some success, even though it's only been a couple of years.
Yes, yeah, I did. I've, had my first nationals, which was last year. I ended up on the podium in all 4 of the sprint events that I entered. And over the past year, I've been in a few events. We did T-Town, I went to Trinidad, and I did well in a few races in both those places. And the nationals this past year, I was a 3-time national champion. So yeah, it's been quite the journey.
And what events are you going to be competing in the 3 days ahead?
I'm in team sprint with Amelia Walsh, so I'll be man 2. The total distance I'll be doing is 500 meters.
And that's the only event that you're going to be
That's the only event I'll be in, and then
be very focused on that.
I'm very focused on that, getting the timing right, getting on Amelia's wheel, and just doing the best 2 laps that I possibly can.
I've read that you've really found it helpful being with these athletes, and I imagine the move here to Milton has helped make that even better? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's really tough moving away from all your family and friends and everything that you know, and coming from out west and transitioning to the lifestyle in Milton. The people here, especially my teammates, have made it much easier than it would have been if I came and didn't know anybody, so it's been really helpful. And all the staff here as well, like everyone is extremely friendly and welcoming, and everyone wants to make sure you're comfortable, so yeah, I don't know what would happen if I didn't have them.
And do you have expectations for the race?
No expectations. I just want to go out and I want to do my absolute best and hopefully get a PB and just focus on, racing the way I know I can race, and the outcome doesn't matter as long as I do my best.
Excellent. Well, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.